See, federal investigators are giving an update on the Louisville plane crash. Man, look at that. There's still 16 people missing, obviously, in those houses, which is unfortunate. Tomorrow we'll talk about it. The guy that was in the Air India crash, he's given his first interview about
the one guy that survived
who
walked away.
Who just like unbuckled himself once it hit the ground and just kind of wandered away. And it's pretty interesting because, man. But if you think about those guys, and a lot of you are chiming in about like, well, you're texting and you're like, well, do you think maybe it was a bird? It's possible it was a bird. I mean, it is,
Birds aren't real.
Yeah. Isn't it weird, right, to think, so wait a minute, a bird can do that?
Well, that's what, it was a bird strike that took down Sully's plane, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And they're supposed to, the whole thing, you think these Rolls-Royce engines and stuff, they get put through the ringer where they'll fire turkeys at them, frozen turkeys, so they can cut through. It's still as amazing as it is. You do worry, it's like when you find out that it was a pen that wasn't secure, or it was something like this that wasn't tightened right, and God only knows again what happened. But we will, be following over the next couple of days, and thank God nobody else was killed, as horrible as it is. And the other weird thing is in today's world is we've got cameras everywhere. So it's not just CCTV. You've got cameras where you're seeing the plane take off, people are in the car, and you see the flames coming out, and then there's another picture from a building, and then there's two other people holding up, phones because they see that there's issues, and they just take their phones out. Then you get the situation where you have that guy sitting there in his 18-wheeler, and he looks like he's just having something to eat, and he's got the dash cam, and you see the plane just cut through and explode. And if some of you pointed out, not only did it exploded with, 250,000 gallons of fuel? That thing was going from Kentucky to Hawaii. That is a flight. So it was full. And I'm sure they'll get to, it, but they're also, as you're going through there, and think about the people now that have to go through it, you're going through the wreckage, also knowing there's 16 people missing, and chances are there's going to be some people there, if there is, because the jet fuel burns so strong. And thank God nobody else was killed.
One of the texters said that it hit a tank of oil, too.
Jeez.
Which obviously exacerbated it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the site it's a massive site.
There are still people missing, and they are hoping to find them. But this is a large crash site that's fire burned very hot. It's so hot that none of the fuselage remains except for the parts of the landing gear.
And now you got to think, too, about what's even left there to investigate. And they'll pull all of the, the film and stuff. But watching something, we've been so desensitized in a lot of things. And watching something like this, where you see where it's going on and those people are going to die. That's going to happen. And nothing is going to change that.
That's why I said at the beginning of the show, man, we are so lucky that wasn't a passenger plane.
Yeah.
Because there could have been another 200 people involved in this.
Goodness. That was the third flight of the day for that plane. And somebody actually got pictures from the runway of the flight it took prior to that, heading to Kentucky. So, nightmare indeed. And we'll keep everybody abreast of what's going on. Today, the Democrats and Republicans doing their thing, licking their wounds, maybe not. I don't know. I guess it really depends on who you ask. Speaker Johnson.
There's no surprises. What happened last night was blue states and blue cities voted blue. We all saw that coming. And no one should read too much into last night's election results. Off-year elections are not indicative of what's to come. That's what history teaches us.
Okay. Is that what it teaches you? Okay. Again, if that's the attitude you're going to have, this is going to be an issue. It's what they're saying when they exit. It's not about who they voted for, right? Because that message was sent to, I think there was a surprise in New Jersey that wasn't closer. Let's be real. Go look at the numbers in areas that Trump won and did okay in. Mike Sherrill did really well and better. And go look at the numbers when it came to Winsome Sears. She got blown out of the water. And so, yeah, that could be a little bit of an issue. But it's what they're saying as they're exiting, which is affordability, affordability, affordability. That's the thing that matters. We've talked about this a bunch. The economy, stupid. We will, if the war in Israel heats up again, what's going on in Ukraine continues to get hot and spicy and continues. And nothing else changes, but the economy is strong. Republicans win. If Trump solves everything perfectly in the Middle East, gets Russia and Ukraine to hug as friends and become pals, he puts a stop to what's going on in Nigeria and Sudan, gets Maduro to walk away, right? All of those things, and the economy sucks, the Republicans will pay the price for it. Because for all of those other things, it's simple. How does this affect me? Oh, it really doesn't in the overall scheme of things? Because that's what I care about. How do these things affect me? Does it make the cost of food go down? Does it make my rent cheaper? Does it make my job more secure? Because if that, as much as those other things are great, and I do believe they're needed, and being the superpower that we are, we want to help when we can. And at the same time, we've got to also be like on an airplane. When the little thing deploys from the ceiling, they don't say, when the oxygen mask comes down, make sure you put it on everybody else's face before yours. What does it say? Put it on your face first, then help people when you can. That's it. That's what it says there. SCOTUS today. Today was arguably, so it was about tariffs in some ways, but it was about presidential power more than just tariffs in the hearings about tariffs.
Administration lawyer John Sauer argued a 1977 law gives the president emergency tariff powers.
The way to control imports traditionally has been to tariff them.
But the law at issue uses the word regulate, a point seized on by conservative justice and Trump appointee Amy Coney Barrett.
Has there ever been another instance in which a statute has used that language to confer the power?
In another show of skepticism, Trump appointee Neil Gorsuch aired his concerns about an erosion of Congress's authority.
What president's ever going to give that power back?
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
And that's a big deal. Congress seems to be okay with letting presidents rule via executive orders. They do.
No kings, but don't ask us to work.
Yeah. No kings, but king-like. Because you guys don't want to do your job. They've not codified anything. Think about this. If things stay the same, Trump leaves office, none of this stuff passes, what do you think happens the minute if Republicans lose and the White House changes and stuff? What do you think happens? Even if they still have the House and the Senate. Well, it's executive orders. So that person will undo the executive orders. And no, I don't think that Trump is going to win this tariff battle. I don't. The skepticism was pretty strong coming. These skepticism, I think the most of it was coming from the Republicans because they were the conservatives on the court because they were looking and going, yeah, this is way too much power. And they were just as befuddled as everybody else going, Congress, why are you totally fine giving up your power of the purse. 3 co-equal branches does not mean, well, you know what? We'll let him have 40%. We'll take 30% and be fine with it. No. And the guy, you know what? God bless that guy. He was trying hard. Bell and I were listening, and he was trying so hard. He's like, they would hit him with something. He's like, well, so do you guys like knives? That was my favorite one. He tried to say, well, use a verb here and a noun, and then, let me put it this way as a descriptor. Do you like knives and swords? And what about this? Well, they could all be considered kind of the same if you take it that way. And then they hit back with, yeah, but that's not our Constitution. So we have a description in our Constitution. This is what it looks like. It looks like this. So I don't think it bodes well, but I don't know when they're going to get it back. I mean, they'll have it back March, April. They can get it back sooner. And the question is now, though, do you continue to collect tariffs? Okay, go and continue to do that. But you're not putting that money away for a rainy day as a just in case things go sideways and we have to pay this money back. Because we would have to pay it back. We, the taxpayer, who paid for it, which is also weird.
Yeah, the government would take the money, pay it back, and then not refund our money.
Yeah. So wait, you paid for So remember,
they'll give it back to the companies, but the companies ain't going to give it back to us.
Yeah, they're not giving it back to us. So, and that money's already been spent on other things. It's not like they keep it in a special tariff lockbox. So that money goes into a general, and it pays for tax cuts and all the other things that are out there. So then what? Well, then we have to figure out, okay, we have to pay this back now. And again, this is a lot of if. I mean, do I think it's 100%? If you ever followed any of SCOTUS, how they ask questions and debate back and forth with with Trump's lawyers or whoever they're doing with, kind of gives you an indication of where this thing is going to go. I mean, we heard it with the trans, battle we had here. You knew where it was going during the Q&A. And I think that, you can tell that this was not going in the way that was going to, I think, give him a win. And this checks his power. But it's power that Congress seems to be willing to give up, which, again, I find fascinating. If you're willing to give up that power, why do we need you at all? Could somebody answer me that? If you're fine with him ruling through executive orders and the next person doing the same thing, can we just say, well, we don't need any of you people? Why not just, let the president rule and have his administration and go from there? Somebody said Trump inherited the economy. Stupid. When does it become his economy? Have we decided that?
Well, if it does well, then it's immediately his. But if it's bad, well, that's still Biden's fault.
I'm not saying that this is all Trump's fault. At no point did I say it's all Trump's fault. There is a crossover, no doubt about it. Let's be real. There is a crossover going from point A to point B that, yes, some of this is on Biden, some of the inflation's on Biden, but you know what else? Some of it's on Trump through his first term. So everybody's got a part to play in it. But it doesn't change the fact that affordability is a big deal. It doesn't. And, yeah, he inherited the economy. So did Biden. So did Trump before that. So did Obama. So did Bush. I mean, they all do at some point, but at some point it does become yours. You own the economy. When is that? Love to know. The filibuster, yay or nay? White Woman Wednesday. It's also One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Still a lot of stuff to get to. Reach out to us on across all of our social media. We got plenty of them. And if you're watching us on Twitch, text the program. Does anybody watch us on Twitch? There's got to be somebody watches us on Twitch. Somebody in Guam. Still waiting for us to play video games. You know what we need in here, guys?
We have 2 people watching on Twitch right now.
You know what we need in here? We need a Galaga game. Galaga? Remember that Galaga? We need, or Miss Pac-Man?
That'd be very distracting.
I loved it whenever I could get 2 fighters.
Oh, man. Yep. It's the only time that you could be taken hostage, and then when you shoot it, you win.
Yep.
And the goal was, let them take you.
Exactly.
Let
You
them
wanted
take
that
you.
second gun.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. You know what? That's our Christmas present to us. I got to figure out that for us. Coming up, some White Woman Wednesday, some filibuster stuff. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Did you see somebody told us to kiss their white ass? Why do you have to bring race into this? Why is it always about race? Why is it always about race? Please tell me why.
I guess they said to kiss their ass because their butt hurt.
Yeah.
Probably.
Somebody said, please explain how Trump is supposed to fix in 9 months, which the Biden and Harris spent 4 years tearing to hell. I didn't say he was supposed to fix it overnight. By the way, he was the one who said he was going to immediately fix everything. I did not.
Which, if you have a brain in your head, you knew that was hyperbole.
Yeah, hyperbole. But that being said, I've never once said that he had to fix anything overnight. These things take time. Don't discount people's pain. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Winning, we want to win, right? Don't discount people's pain and don't gaslight them. People will stick with you if you are sticking with them. If you're telling them essentially, like Biden and them did, it's transitory, it'll be gone. And it really wasn't. They were just lying to everybody. Don't do that. Don't. But at some point, it does become your economy. Because in that thinking, it took 4 years. Well, what does that mean? In 4 years, if the economy doesn't get better, it's still, you just now fixed it. And then, you've got to say, okay, at what point do you go, okay, this is now mine? This is now mine. Trump inherited the economy from Obama until COVID was doing great. Since then, it's been in the crapper. Inflation Reduction Act did nothing but add tons of debt. Yeah. Well, of course, the Inflation Reduction Act. The second time Trump sent out checks, he knew it too. He said, I shouldn't be doing this. And then he's like, well, hold on. Can I send out checks with my face on it? Remember that?
Can they have my personal signature?
Oh, my God. That was pretty awesome. But the reality is, they're the ones who create a lot of that inflation because they can print money. You and I can't print money, and we tried it. We'll go to jail. They get mad. Unless, of course, it's some sort of crypto coin. Then apparently we're totally cool with that. But the economy was doing well. Dude, it was on fire. It was on fire. Look, Obama inherited a crappy economy from Bush, 2008-9. Things were in the crapper. He got it going in an okay direction, but he never took the governor off of it. He never did. He never took it. Trump came in, kicked the governor on, put nitro in it, and took off. Then COVID came, and it became a nightmare. And then everybody was trying to do something where they were printing money, telling everybody to stay home. It created chaos, and that was not Trump's fault. But after the first time we printed checks and handed out money, we should have said no. But then Trump did it again, and then Biden came in and goes, ha, I beat Medicare. Or whatever.
So I'm going to print some more money.
And he printed the hell out of money again. And the Inflation Reduction Act went the same way as Obamacare. It went to hell. It went to hell. So, again, I want all of my presidents to be successful. Because if they're not, that's not good for anybody. This wanting, this is a bad analogy at this moment in time. This wanting the other side to fail is like wanting your pilot to crash so you can say, I told you wasn't a good pilot. By the way, Keith, who, our raisin guy, by the way, continues to send me stuff. You know what he sent me now, Ken?
What's that?
All kinds of recipes for raisin stuff. But he is a pilot, and he's flown the biggies. And he said, maybe we'll get him on if we can tomorrow, talk about it. He said that this whole thing with he goes, losing a left engine, it had a fire in the left engine, but that isn't a big deal. Something else had to go really wrong for that to do what it did.
For it to turn?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, because those planes are designed to be able to stay in the air if they lose an engine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They're totally designed. But, maybe I don't know. Again, they don't even know. There's a great article in Popular Mechanics about science goes, to this day, we're really not quite sure how planes stay in the air.
Something similar with bicycles, too.
Yeah. So it's weird. Isn't that weird? Science is like, I'm not sure. We think it's the thrust and some other stuff, but you know what? We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to keep quiet because it's working okay.
It's working.
Coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Wrapping up the show of this amazing and incredible Wednesday. A lot of you chiming in. Matt is somewhere. I saw him here a second ago. He's wandering around. I think they were doing Cameron's here, right? Aren't they doing, they do their podcast and stuff today?
That, or maybe he had a head injury and doesn't realize he's supposed to be in here.
It's a possibility. You never know. I want to see what he's dressed like. I think we're playing pickleball this weekend. That's right.
That's going to be a heated contest.
It could be a heated contest. I'm not saying there's not going to be any fisticuffs going on, but we're too old for fisticuffs. You get to a certain age, you're like, what are you guys doing? I'm a grown-ass man. I got kids. I'm not doing something stupid
I think
like
you take him, though, since the shoulder.
Shoulder, yeah. Go right for the shoulder.
Yeah.
Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages.
Hey,
Soon to be my pickleball partner, I think, this weekend.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. If I can do that and go to the Auburn Vandy game.
Oh, is that, what time's that game?
That's like at 3, so we should be fine. But my game's at 11, but we'll figure
we'll
figure it out. Hello.
How's the wifey?
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. With the wifey
I do have a gift.
The Auburn coach being canned.
She was ready for a freeze.
Did you hear stories about him?
He's bad news.
Where he's just like...
He's bad news.
Where is he?
He's not a good
He's at
guy.
the golf course. What's he doing? Is he golfing? No, he's just watching people golf.
Yeah, he was... they found during the offseason, they found his golf handicap. He was bragging about his golf handicap. And this was during recruiting season.
Yeah.
And he's bragging about getting his golf handicap down and talking about how many times he's playing and all that. And people are like, shouldn't he be recruiting right now?
Yeah.
I mean, you know?
You know what? Recruiting's kind of a weird thing. Isn't recruiting this? How much money do we have? $30 million. All right, go buy me a team.
Nowadays it is. Okay, hold out your hands and close your eyes and you will get a big surprise. You want to guess?
It's got to be something with raisins. It is. Milk chocolate covered raisins.
Would you mind, if you're going to just leave those lying around, would you mind telling me where? They're yours, technically.
Okay.
Wait a minute. They're chocolate covered?
Chocolate covered raisins.
Chocolate covered raisins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'll tell you what, because I know how you are, Chad. You know what I'll do for you?
What?
I'll take a mouthful and suck all the chocolate off and leave you the raisins.
Oh, yeah, because I do love me some raisins, kids. I mean, you guys know that.
Especially after they've been in somebody else's mouth.
You know what? You would think that this, you would think at some point that this awesome bit would get old.
No.
Not yet.
No.
Not
Keith
yet.
sent me
Keith is awesome.
Full giant recipe for all these things I cannot do with raisins because I never would.
So for the backstory, everyone, you should listen every day to Chad, Matt Murphy, and whatnot. But Chad does not care for raisins, and he made that abundantly clear. And I said, come on, man, I like raisins. And he looked at me like I ate a bug.
Yeah.
And now our buddy Keith is...
he loves raisins.
He apparently he doesn't love them a lot because he's giving them away to a guy that
doesn't.
wants
He's
nothing to
trying
do with
to
them.
convert me to raisinism.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, if you're listening, Chad also hates Ferraris.
Yeah, I do. I hate Ferraris.
Hot women.
Hot women and Ferraris, baby. I hate those with a passion. With an absolute passion. What are you talking about today?
You know what? We're going to talk about what happened yesterday. I love the reset in American politics where apparently Virginia and New York and New Jersey people voting blue is a surprise. I don't think it was any surprise.
I don't think it was a surprise. Well, I think how bad I think they did because I think they thought they had a shot in New Jersey. Winsome Sears.
They thought they had a shot. I don't think Winsome Sears was ever going to. Jay Jones was a little surprising because come on, man. But whatever.
But I think the exit polls about how frustrated people are with the expense of life and feeling like I think that was a bit of a surprise. But you know what?
Yeah, life's going to get less expensive in New York City. Just watch.
Yeah.
Just watch.
I'm telling you, he's my sneaker Fetterman. He's going to pull a Fetterman.
You know, problem with the realities of the he sits down and goes, what?
That's it. The realities of life.
Do what?